Hey, so I was moved to create this video. I was just thinking of a concept. I could title it Dispelling the It's Talent Driven Myth. So, in my opinion, when we say something's talent driven, when we're speaking about somebody else, I view it as a myth. It's just something we make up. And I want to dispel it so that we can no longer be negatively impacted by it. So, anyway, let me give you an example. If you're working, let's say, for a company or you're playing a sport, and there's a whole bunch of different people that do what you do or what we do, and but yet there's different levels of different achievement levels. So, like, if you're playing a sport and everybody plays the game, and then some people are quote unquote achievers and some people just get by. Maybe you're in a business where there's a whole bunch of different managers or a whole bunch of different people that do the same thing you do, and some of them are amazing, winning awards, and some people are just ordinary, and some people are below average and they're quote unquote failing. Yet again, they do the same thing. And what I've heard quite often is people say, oh, well, what that person does, and this is me speaking of the achiever, quote unquote achiever, what they do and their results are credited to being talent driven. And I found that the impact of that is that we no longer really look into exactly what are they doing and how can I replicate what they're doing, and in turn get the results that they're generating. So I find in our society we have this whole idea of, well, if it's talent driven, it's a talent. Either you're born with it or you're not. If you're not, oh well. Now I get it if we're talking about some sort of, like, I don't know, muscle type, and I don't know, some people that can memorize pi to like the thousandth. They do these freakish skills, and to be able to then do certain like activities that would take that. But most times when we say it's talent driven, consider that's our way of avoiding responsibility to finding out what those people do. And something to consider is that whatever somebody does to achieve success, if they're the top of their class or they're number one in their field, we technically, if you follow this logic, we could get up in front of the room. So if it's a job where it requires motivating people and teaching, technically, we could get up in front of the room and say what they say. We could behave the way they behave. We could hand out the things that they hand out. So really take a look at, like, the people succeeding and say, okay, can the things they do be duplicated? And in most cases, the answer is yes. So really, therefore, the results that the top people are getting, theoretically, should be the average, the norm. As long as people take the time to look at what those people are doing and then they make up their mind, it's possible for me to duplicate that. A lot of the things that I've achieved success in, I was able to kind of explode onto the scene and get what others would consider veteran-like results. And this is in sports and, in the business world that I've been in. And the reason why is I just made up my mind that if they can do whatever they do, I don't care if they're 10 years of experience or not, whatever they say and do, I can say and do as well. I don't need 10 years to be able to mimic it. So, again, the value that this adds is to be able to take, if you're an average performer or below average, and it would be the positive of this is to be able to then immediately, essentially, achieve the results that the top people are achieving. So let's be aware that there's a negative impact when we conclude, oh, that's talent driven, when in actuality it's just a series of skills, learned behaviors, skills that people learned. And quite often the things that we view as talent driven, they're skills that we can pick up like that, because it's up to us to decide whether it's an easy skill or a hard skill. Easy or hard is an opinion. The skill is the skill. So put this to work. Take a look at what the best people are doing in whatever industry you're in, or if you're a student, or if you're an athlete, and then constantly remind yourself: I can do what they do. I can say what they say. I can speak the way they speak. I can be the way they be, and therefore I can get the same results that they generate themselves. Enjoy.